Welcome to the episode 4 of Cat Talk by Alice Cat Expert. In the last episode, we talked about aggressive behavior. There's differentiations between aggression and misplaced hunting behavior. So, as I promised you last time, this episode we will do a deep dive on misplaced hunting behavior. Now, this episode is a little bit different than the past two episodes where I told you the behavioral problem is complex and you should seek professional help. In this episode, I'm going to actually tell you what to do. You are able to do all the suggestion at home. So what is misplaced hunting behavior? Usually I will hear client having comments such as, I don't know why my cat attacked me for no reason. This come out from nowhere. I was just walking past. I wasn't doing anything. I don't understand this. So these are the comments I usually hear from client. And usually during investigation, I will ask for some video footage to confirm if it is misplaced hunting behavior or aggression. Now, getting video footage is not always easy because the behavior often happen very fast and the person might just not be quick enough to grab the phone to do the video. Often I'm lucky enough to get some video footage to help me with my consultation. In that case, the behavior will look like pouncing on people's ankles, slapping people, biting people. But you can see that it's not real biting, it's playful biting. They might ambush you when you're trying to move around the house. They might also drop objects, for example. You know, the internet meme of cats just dropping everything from the table. The cat will usually look like they have a lot of energy, or my clients will actually comment on that as well, saying that, he has a lot of energy. He's hyperactive. He has a lot of zoomy. That's usually how it looks. So if you're facing problem like this, if this sounds like you, this episode is for you. Now, from your point of view, all this behavior look very unpredictable, and sometimes people even feel personal. They would be like, I don't know why he attacked me. I love him. Or sometimes it could even be painful. I mean, people can get scratches. So it is a very stressful scenario. But as I always says in this podcast, nothing is random. It's more a case of trying to understand what the cat wants, and then we'll try to figure out a way to help them. Now, a quick reminder, if you haven't listened to episode 3, you should. If you have already listened to episode 3, thank you very much. But a quick reminder, what is the difference between aggressions, and misplaced hunting behavior? Aggression usually is about defense, okay? The cat is hoping the perceived threat will go away. Okay. Misplaced hunting behavior is different. It's about pursuing the target. Okay. So the behavior looks a little bit different. Don't forget, cats are natural hunters. They are absolutely incredible hunters. The whole body is designed for hunting activities. So when they are not able to get that experience because they're living in a domestic settings with us, they try to seek alternative. They can't hunt animals, so what they're going to do is, well, they hunt you. There are some cats more at risk of this behavior than the others. If we're talking about young adult cats, if we're talking about indoor only cats, if we are talking about single cat household, if we're talking about cats don't have a routine play sessions, then they are usually more at risk of this behavior. Now, before I explain to you what you can do to solve this problem, first of all, I want you to understand that punishment doesn't work because cats doesn't understand why they're being punished. They're performing a natural to them behavior, so they don't understand what they have done wrong. And in fact, if you start to punish them, they might feel more stressed and anxious. And then you might create other kinds of problems, such as starting to be marking around the house or starting to be scared of you. And I'm sure this is not what you want. So what actually really helps is instead of telling them don't do it, we need to redirect that energy into something acceptable to you, obviously, uh, um, and acceptable to everyone in the family, and more appropriate behavior. So there are two ways to deal with it. I always explain to people. One way is something that is interactive, that you are involved in the process, and other kinds of things we can do is things that doesn't involve you because you do have to do other things in life, such as going to work, going to school, etc. So we today I will explain to you both of these categories of measures so that you can implement them at home. First, one way to solve this problem is actually provide a hunting experience. Obviously, I'm not saying that you let them to hunt the animal, but you can imitate the hunting experience. In order to do that, first of all, you need to know what kind of hunter is your cat. Okay, there are cats who are bird person. There are cats who are bug person. There are cats who are mouse person, and there are cats who are snake person. So you need to know what is your cat niche first as a natural hunter, and then after that you choose the toy that is that kind of shape and that can perform that kind of movement. This is also to answer why people says that, well, I got a basket full of toys but my cat is not interested. The first part of this is figure out what's your cat's niche, what's your cat specialized in the world of hunting. That way, you don't need to buy toys that doesn't suit them. Now, buying the right toy is just the first part of this, okay? The second part of this is when you're doing the interaction with them, you do need to get into the character a little bit, okay? So if you're doing a bird toy, it does need to look like you're moving like a bird, okay? So things like the bird is flying a little bit and then land on something such as the back of the couch, wait for a few seconds, and then fly again, and make sure that the flying movement does look like a bird. One of the common mistakes is people get that kind of toy and then they're just waving around in front of the cat. That's not how a bird would move. Just observe how a bird would move and try to imitate how a bird would move. The same with bugs, mice, snakes. You need to imitate the movement in order to trigger your cat into hunting the toy, and then they will get to enjoy. One of the pushback I get from clients is that I don't have time to do this. I don't know why there's such a misunderstanding out there that we need to spend a lot of time to do this. Actually, we don't. If we're even able to do a couple of minutes before breakfast and a couple of minutes before giving the cat dinner, is great. It's more a case of having the routine than having a long durations of playtime. It's the same similar concept as us going to do exercise. You know, it's better that we do 3 sessions, short sessions per week than one long sessions a week. Not a lot of people can spend 3 hours in the gym, but it's better to spend three 1 hour sessions than one long 3 hours. So it's the same concept with cats. I mentioned before breakfast and before dinner because it's easy to for you to remember to do them. And then also after they exercise, they work up an appetite, they get the big reward. You give them the food. It also imitates the natural behavior when they're hunting outside. At the end of hunting, they get to eat the animal that they hunt. So you give them food that kind of also imitate the natural sequence of hunting behavior outdoor. If you want to learn more about how to play with your cat the most effective way possible, I do have a book to recommend you. It's Play with Your Cat by Dr. Delgado. And Dr. Delgado is one of my favorite behaviorists, and in fact, one of my favorite person in this industry. So I highly recommend her book. There's so many wonderful tips inside. The link to the book is also in the show description, so have a look. Now, I have covered what you can do in an interactive manner that involve you spending time with your cat. And during the day, if you have other things to do, you need to go to work, you need to take care of family members and other responsibility in general. You don't always stay at home to play with your cats, right? So I highly recommend also implement something that your cat can do by themselves. That is feeding puzzles. Feeding puzzles is a wonderful tool. Not only it can solve many problems actually. It will slow down the eating if you have a cat that eat very fast. If you're dealing with a cat that have to watch on their weight, that will also help them. It provides wonderful, wonderful mental stimulation. And then they get a sense of accomplishment when they finish the puzzle. So I highly recommend feeding puzzles as well. Now, I do get some pushback when it comes to feeding puzzles because people will be like, well, my cat won't do it. I tried. The reason your cat won't do it, it might also be a case that next to the feeding puzzles, you have a giant bowl of food. Okay, this is often one of the beginner mistakes is that, if your cat have a giant bowl of food next to the puzzles, why would they work for the same food? Okay, so they don't. Not only that, sometimes it might also involve your cat learning that this is a thing to do now. So that will involve a little bit of training. Um, you need to start introducing the puzzles gradually and then eventually adding more complexity to it. So if you just give your cat a very complicated puzzles at the start, they might not understand what you want from them. And the good news is you might not even need to buy things because there's so many DIY inspiration online. If you just put in the keyword cat feeding puzzles, there's so many DIY projects will jump out from your search engine. If you need more inspiration, I have another thing to recommend you. Please go to the website foodpuzzlesforcats.com. So it's food puzzles with an S for cats with an S.com. This is a website that is created by Dr. DeGallo again and Ingrid Johnson, a certified cat behavior consultant. Altogether, they have compiled a lot of information about food puzzles, different puzzles review, and then also how do you actually train your cat into doing them. The link to the website is in the show description again. Please check it out. Another thing I like to recommend people to do if they're dealing with misplaced hunting behavior is clicker training. Clicker training is an amazing way to provide mental stimulation at home. Your cat can learn anything the same way that a dog can learn all these commands. Often I will start my clients to teach the cat some simple command first, such as sit, such as come, stay, or perform various other tasks. They can learn fetch. They can learn what we call 1-2 game, which is walking back and forth to use up their energy. Clicker training has also loads of practical use, such as teaching them how to get into the cat carrier voluntarily, also stay still while the vet is checking on them. There's so many use using clicker training. Now I will have another deep dive about clicker training in future episode. I don't know when that's going to be, but I have one episode planned for clicker training only. Now, if you're able to do even just some of the stuff that I suggested today, the choosing the right toy, playing with the toy correctly, um, feeding puzzles, clicker training, you don't even have to do all of it. If you are able to do some of it, you can already see some progress. Okay, you can see some improvement. Now, obviously, we need to be realistic as well. We're not going to see changes overnight, but to be honest with you, from my experience, in a week or two, you will already see obvious progress if you keep consistent. However, it's very important to keep in mind that some misplaced hunting behavior might be a symptom of a bigger problem. Your cat could be experiencing stress and anxiety. So, if you have tried the tips I shared with you today for a couple of weeks and you don't see much progress, or you feel like you're stuck, or you might just simply be worried, don't hesitate to seek professional advice from cat behaviorists. To wrap up today's episode, just a reminder, your cat doesn't attack you for no reason. Understanding the motivation is the first step in figuring out how to help them. As always, behavior isn't random. There's always a reason.